Hi everyone, this is Mitch from SportsChatPlace.com, and we're here to talk about NFL Wild Card Weekend, and the first game of Wild Card Weekend, and that would be the New York Jets and the Cincinnati Bengals. Couple things I want to go over real quick before I talk about the game. Number one, last year I talked about the free codes that I had from OddsMaker for those free $10 bets. I still have a few thousand of those left. I had thousands of them to begin with. I gave away thousands, and I still have a couple thousand left. So if anyone's interested in a free $10 bet, no obligation, no deposit from oddsmaker.com, by all means just email me, mitch@sportschatplace.com, and I'll send you back a free $10 bet. It's really that simple. Another thing is, the last week or so I've been asking for, if anyone's interested in writing. I've talked to a bunch of you about becoming writers on the site. Some of you I think it's going to work out. Some of you, it might not work out as well. But, that's the nature of the beast. And but in any event, if anyone out there is a talented writer and looking for, a place to write their stuff, sports, by all means, just email me, mitch@sportschatplace.com, because we are currently looking for writers. We have a little bit more room. I'm going to say that we'll probably cut off this wave of bringing writers on board probably in the next couple of days. So, in any event, let's just get to this game already. The New York Jets traveling to Cincinnati to take on the Bengals. A rematch of a game played last week at the Meadowlands, though. Big difference going to the Jungle, going to Cincinnati, going to Paul Brown Stadium. Of course, I lived in Cincinnati, I lived in New York, so I know both these fan bases. Very, very excited. They're not fan bases they're not perennial playoff teams. They're teams that have been there before. Of course, the Bengals have been to 2 Super Bowls since the Jets have last been to theirs, and both these teams have had their share of number 1 overall draft picks. So pretty exciting stuff for both these franchises to be meeting in a playoff game, and for Cincinnati, of course, to be hosting a playoff game is a pretty big deal, and I expect a huge turnout and a really fired up crowd at the Jungle. I think that Cincinnati has a big edge here. The edge is Carson Palmer. I think the Jets' defense is a little better than the Bengals' defense right now. Didn't really start that way. I don't think it's the whole, Ryan scheme or anything like that. I think it's a couple injuries that the Bengals had, and namely Roy Williams, who was one of their key free agent pickups this offseason, who at the beginning of the season we said was one of the biggest free agent signings that kind of flew under the radar. But, say that about the Cincinnati Bengals' early record this season and say it was under the radar. I don't think so. But in any event, I thought the Bengals had a great draft. Ray Maluga's contributed. The Bengals are now a team on a mission. They want to win for Chris Henry, in his memory. A guy who had his problems off the field, a guy who seemed to have it together, but apparently, according to all of his teammates, they all love this guy, and this was a guy who really always delivered at practice, and boy, he always delivered on the field too. He was a great player to watch, and I expect the Bengals to really step it up. I expect it to be an emotional game, and I expect it to be an emotional win for the Cincinnati Bengals, and a lot of pointing to the sky and praying for Chris Henry's family and all that good stuff. So I like Cincinnati in this one. I just think they're the better team. I think Mark Sanchez has some great days ahead of him. But boy, 12 touchdown passes against 20 interceptions, not going to get it done in the playoffs. So this is Mitch from SportsChatPlace.com. Thanks for joining me. Have a great day, and let's go some NFL postseason.